To start, I'm going to use the wet-dry method. This is a basic baking building block. Basically, first, I organize all of my dry ingredients in one bowl, and then I mix together all of my wet in another. And then I put them together. This helps the mixing process and makes sure that you don't over-blend or over-mix any of the ingredients. I'm going to start adding all of my dry ingredients. So in my bowl already, I have a cup of flour and 3 tablespoons of white sugar. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This makes them nice and fluffy. A 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now I have a really rich, dark, unsweetened cocoa powder. I'm just going to mix this together lightly, just to make sure everything's really well integrated. Onto my wet ingredients. First up, 1 egg. And 3 tablespoons of melted and cooled butter. You don't want the melted butter to cook the eggs, so make sure to cool it before you add. And 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk for a really lovely tang. And what makes red velvet red? Well, the red. So I'm using a little bit of red food coloring. And depending on how red you like it, you can add a lot or a little. And a healthy teaspoon of vanilla. I'm also adding a 1/4 cup of creme fraiche, which is just French sour cream. So if you can't find creme fraiche, don't stress about it. Sour cream works great. And this is just like a richer version of buttermilk. It just really heightens that sour, tangy flavor that is so good in a pancake. Time to give this a stir. Wow, that is red. This looks amazing. So now I'm gonna mix it into my dry ingredients, and I'm not going to let it hang out for too long, because once I add the wet ingredients, that activates the baking powder and baking soda, which make fluffy pancakes. I'm just going to stir until there aren't any more lumps. And this makes a really thick batter. We're dealing with some rich ingredients here, so these are pretty decadent pancakes. Well, my batter looks great. I'm gonna get started on my mascarpone spread, the base of which is mascarpone cheese. This is just an Italian sweet cheese, so imagine cream cheese but without the tang. You can find it at most grocery stores. To make my spread, I'm going to start with my creme fraiche, which I'm adding because it kind of loosens up the spread and makes it really spreadable. So just a 1/4 cup. And for the star ingredient, mascarpone cheese. And I'm doing about a 1/2 cup of this. Oh, it's so delicious. I want my spread to be sweet, but not too sweet, so I'm only adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then I love vanilla in anything, so I'm adding a little bit of vanilla, just 1/2 teaspoon. Lemon zest is fantastic in this recipe. It goes so well with the creme fraiche and the mascarpone cheese. It just adds this little hint of brightness and a little bit of that zesty lemon flavor. It's so good. All I have to do is stir it together. Well, this looks done. It's time to get these pancakes on the griddle. I have my griddle heating over a medium-low flame, and the idea here is you do not want to burn your pancakes. It's really easy. I do it almost every time. So medium-low is the way you want to go to make sure I can cook my pancakes really evenly and I don't get any burnt spots. I'm just going to spray my heated pan with a little bit of cooking spray. And immediately I'm going to add my pancakes because I don't want my cooking spray to cook. I like to do about 1.5 ladlefuls, which with this smaller ladle, I'd say is about maybe 3/4 of a cup. My pancake looks just about ready to flip. You can tell because it's cooked right around the edges and I have bubbles forming in the center. That's what you're looking for. It takes a couple of minutes, but this is sort of my foolproof way to know if a pancake is ready. Success! I flipped it and it looks great. I'm gonna let it cook on the other side until it's cooked all the way through. I can't wait to dig into these pancakes, but it's missing two important things. First off, syrup, and then my mascarpone spread that I made. And these pancakes, even though they're red velvet, they do not taste like a cupcake. They're not super sweet. So you can definitely feel free to put a little bit of syrup on them. Now, I'm gonna hit it with some of my mascarpone spread. And I love this stuff. It's wonderful on top of these pancakes, but try it with some fresh fruit or spread it on top of a pound cake. It's really one of those multi-purpose recipes that I just use again and again. It's time for the big moment, the taste. Have to have some of the spread with it. That is so good. I love the way the lemon plays with the other flavors in the pancakes, and even though this is a really decadent pancake being red velvet, it's still perfect for breakfast and so delicious.